Hi, I'm Jolene Fisher, and today I'm going to be covering the results interpretation sheet for the InBody 770. The first thing on your InBody 770 results sheet that I would like to go over is your body composition analysis section, and this is the area highlighted in red. Here we're looking at a total weight breakdown, and so you can see the total weight in red of 130 pounds is actually broken down by lean body mass and total body water, as well as body fat mass. So when we look at the purple section, intracellular and extracellular water. Intracellular water is the amount of water held inside the cell, and extracellular water is the amount of water held outside the cell. So you want the intracellular water number to be much higher than the extracellular water weight. And in fact, it should be 60% or higher than the extracellular water weight when you divide it over the total body water. And with dry lean mass, this is our bone weight. Cartilage, ligaments, all that adds up to this green value right here. Your dry lean mass adds up to the value of 21.6, which added to total body water adds up to the green value of 82.5. And then body fat mass, this number of 47.8 is how much you weigh in pounds of fat. Adding all four of these values up will give you your total body weight. In this next section down, we'll be going over muscle fat analysis. The muscle fat analysis uses bar graphs to provide a comparison between weight, skeletal muscle mass, and body fat mass. The lengths of the bar graphs indicate the relationship between the current weight to the average value for that specific component based on the examinee's height. Therefore, an individual with a score of 100% indicates the individual is at the average value, calculated based on the average weight based on their height for that particular segment. Anytime you see an arrow pointing down, a negative sign, or an arrow pointing up, such as the ones highlighted in yellow, green, and red, that means that you're either below normal range with the arrow pointing down, the negative meaning you're right in midline or what the norms are, or above average. The first line you see here is the total body weight, and the second one is your skeletal muscle mass. This number is really important because it is the most effective indicator of health improvements. And when we see somebody increasing exercise and making diet modifications, we're going to see the skeletal muscle mass line increase, and that's what we really are looking for. In the body fat mass, this number is something we're looking to decrease over time, and so it's just a starting number and good to see. I'm going to teach you in a little bit about what we're looking for with regards to this muscle fat analysis chart. You're going to want to pay attention to the shape formed by the bars of weight, skeletal muscle mass, and body fat mass, as represented here in this slide. So a C represents a normal weight potentially, but weak. See, their skeletal muscle mass is smaller or lower than the weight and the body fat mass. So it represents a C shape. And in the second one, where you see an I shape, this is a person of normal weight, standard type. Everything is within normal range. Their skeletal muscle mass is nice and long, but their weight and their body fat mass is also right in line with that. So this is normal, but we're really looking to see this D. And so this D type is somebody who has a high amount of skeletal muscle mass and their body fat mass and weight are much lower. And that represents a very strong type person. I'm now going to go over what it would look like to see somebody with a big D curve or somebody with a big C curve. And so in this first example, you're seeing a skeletal muscle mass that's close to 130 pounds. And this person represents a strong D curve. But what this person wants to make sure they don't do is lose too much body fat mass, because their body fat mass in pounds is quite low. In fact, it's under the norm. But this is just a very lean, athletic individual. This next person represents varying lengths on the curve. So we're looking at a C curve in this person, but this person cannot be regarded as being in ideal health due to their low skeletal muscle mass. However, their weight is in normal range, and so is their body fat mass, but the skeletal muscle mass being low here is an indicator that they're not as healthy as they could be, and that their skeletal muscle mass could use some improvement. We're now going to jump over here to the right hand side of this sheet, midway down, and you're going to find basal metabolic rate. this is the number of calories you burn at rest. So if you were to sit on a couch all day long and do nothing, this is what your muscles would require and all of your metabolic processes would require in terms of calories. And it's been said that for every pound of skeletal muscle mass, you burn about 70 calories. Here it is showing the basal metabolic rate a little bit closer up. As a health coach, I help people determine how many calories that they need to eat according to the basal metabolic rate number. So in this case, this person has 1,177 calories they would need to eat if they didn't want to gain or lose any weight and they did not exercise. But for somebody who is an athlete or for somebody who's extremely sedentary, then this number really does need to change, and you'd want to consult with me in order to figure out what that is. Now we're going to jump down to the middle of the page for the obesity analysis. In this section, you'll find BMI and percent body fat. In this case, this person's BMI is right around mid to high normal range, and where BMI really becomes important is when you're getting analyzed by maybe your insurance company and they're looking to see if your height and weight really measure out to be within normal range. However, BMI is not something we're really concerned about, because for somebody who is of stocky build and short, who's full of muscle, their BMI number is going to be off the charts high, and that's not really an indicator of health at all. The thing that's an indicator of health, which you'll find in the red highlighted section, is percent body fat. And for males, 15% is considered standard and 23% for females. Now let's go one box down into the segmental lean analysis. In this box, you'll find each body part represented in lean mass. So this is our skeletal muscle mass represented by right arm, left arm, trunk, right leg, left leg. And in this green box, you can see where the norms are for you. And so anything above 100 is considered ideal, and you'll just want to know, is my right arm compared to my left arm considered equal in terms of poundage, and is that percentage over 100? In the next box, you're going to find that somebody's segmental lean analysis for the right and left leg, highlighted here in orange, is below 100, and that is something that that person will want to work on. So they're upper body dominant and lower body not doing so well. And the ECW, TBW, highlighted in yellow, is also something to be aware of. This is an indicator of inflammation segmentally. And the InBody 770 is the only machine, only InBody that actually measures inflammation segmentally in the body. And so a variation of 0.002 or above from any segment is going to be considered statistically significant and something to look at in terms of inflammation in your body. As we go down the page, we are looking now at the ECW over TBW analysis, the extracellular water over total body water. Extracellular water, again, is the water held outside the cell. So when a number is high or above average, in this case, you can see they're 0.397. This is an indicator of inflammation in the body. And this represents a potential chronic health condition and may require medical attention or evaluation. The last box on the left-hand side is body composition history, and this will only be important to you as you get your second, third, fourth, and so on testing done, and you can see your history over time and how you are increasing or decreasing in those levels that you're really trying to work hard on. Now let's move on to the right side of our sheet. This is a visceral fat area, and visceral fat is the fat that surrounds the organs, and it's that scary fat. So when somebody has a high level of visceral fat, it puts them at a certain risk of developing health diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and even dementia. The accumulation of visceral fat has also been associated with technical difficulties in performing surgeries, especially abdominal surgery. It is recommended to maintain the visceral fat area under 100 to minimize health risks associated with excess visceral fat. So if you're finding your number to be below 100, that means that you are not in a risky health condition at the moment. But if you're finding yourself above 100 and well beyond that, then this is definitely an area of most concern right now to get your health back in a normal range. This is a really helpful area, the body fat lean mass control is basically just telling you how much body fat mass you should be losing and in pounds, and how much lean body mass you could be increasing. And so look at this number, and it's going to give you guidelines and goals to set going forward. This next portion is referred to as the segmental fat analysis, and this breaks down each portion of your body, right arm, left arm, trunk, right leg, left leg, in terms of pounds of fat that you have in each segment, as well as percentage. And so when you're finding that you're above average in a certain area, that just shows you areas that could be worked on. Now, body fat cannot be reduced in one area alone. It has to be done as a overarching approach to reducing fat off of your body, but it will be nice over time to see how much weight you do lose segmentally going forward. This next section is a measure of leg lean mass. So basically you divide the number of leg lean mass by your skeletal muscle mass, and it needs to be 40% of your total skeletal muscle mass. We are now taking a look at whole body phase angle. This is a measure of cellular integrity or cellular health. So basically cellular integrity refers to how tight the cell junctions are. So it's not allowing that bioelectrical impedance to come through the cell as fast. The slower the electricity comes through the cell, the higher the phase angle will be, which means your cell is healthier. So whole body phase angle can range anywhere from 4 up to 12. And 4 is somebody who is really aged. They might be in their late 80s, or maybe even has a disease process going on. So when we're seeing numbers in the 4 range, that's concerning and needs to be told to a healthcare provider so that we can seek help and see what maybe can be done about that, especially if you're not in your 80s, and that would be something we need to consider a referral to a doctor for. Somebody who is a woman should be above 5. If you're a man, you should be above a 6. And of course, the higher the number, the better. The next sheet is measuring total body water in different segments. And so I love this sheet because for someone like myself who's a sports medicine professional, exercise scientist, that's my background, I love looking at inflammation in the body, where we're storing it, and if we're able to get back to our participation in sports or whatever we do in life, this is going to help determine that for us, because in this red section we can see this person suffering from inflammation in their trunk and then their right and left leg compared to their upper body, and we can see those numbers come down over time, and that's really significant because we don't want somebody to go back to doing whatever they love to do and get injured because we didn't pay attention to the inflammation in their body. Segmentally, we can look at how many pounds of water they're holding in each segment, as well as intracellular and extracellular water in terms of pounds. Well guys, that is the end of our results sheet interpretation video. And I know there's probably a lot of questions going through your mind, or you're just concerned maybe about one of your numbers, and that's totally fine. This is what we're here for. So give me a call or email me. Find me on my website at nobaddays.biz, and I can help you guys go a little bit further into your results and figure out which of these numbers we really need to be focusing on right now and which ones aren't so scary. All right, so I'm again Jolene Fisher, and thank you for watching this video.